This is your Chargers linebacker, Deion Henley, and you're tuning in with Chargers Unleashed.
Welcome to another edition of Chargers Unleashed. Jake Hefner and Dan Wolkenstein here with you from the LAFB Network. If this is your first time tuning in the show, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Dan Wolkenstein, it is good to be back. I know where you've been. Not everybody else knows where you've been, but it's been a minute since you and I have gotten a chance to powwow about some Chargers football. I tried to do something of my own accord, and when you mix me with technology when I'm by myself, obviously things just choose not to work properly, and that's what happens. That's what happens when things like this take place. See what you go, off to your 10-year anniversary, time with family, and internet just fails for me.
That's okay. All the internet was brought to Palm Springs, apparently, for my 10-year anniversary trip. It was amazing. Apologies, again, was not able to join last week. I had some things that were, quite honest, more important. 10 years is crazy. And Jake, hold on a second. Time out.
Yeah.
First off, we are live, folks, in the chat. Hi, good morning. What are we drinking? Let us know. We did not get a chance to do a show last week. I burned all of the voicemails.
Midnight Will. Oh, got it. Yes.
They're absolutely gone from that last
You come up from the Indianapolis game, just to be specific.
Yes. Lots of bad in that. And we'll kind of touch on it a little bit as we get to this in terms of like what was at stake in this game. But Jake, I think the most important thing for us to discuss at this very moment, Matthew Dahl in the comments, congratulations to Jake bringing in a new Chargers fan in the earth. Jake Hefner put it on social media after the Chargers victory. So it was a victory Friday in more than one way. Jake, man to man, I know we've talked about this for years. I can't tell you how excited I am personally for you and to see you become a dad and to watch this new Chargers fan come to life. I cannot be more excited for you and the family, dude. Congratulations. Everyone in the chat, blow Jake up on Twitter. Here in the chat, Jake, congratulations on being a dad. It is the absolute treat, and it's the best.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. You and I have talked, obviously, privately and offline about this. This has been a hell of a journey for my wife and I. 5 years we have been trying. There's been several procedures that she had to go through in order for us to get to this point. Literally a year ago, we were almost at the point of giving up. And then we got a very good recommendation for a different doctor that we ended up having to switch to. And thankfully, they took a completely different approach in how they took more personal care of my wife throughout the process. And thankfully, we're here. So we are just about to enter week 27. Week 27. So January 28th is the estimated time of arrival for my daughter, and I could not be more excited.
I just got chills. I'm telling you, being a girl dad is the best. These comments are amazing. Jeremy, congrats, Jake. Welcome to the No Sleep Club. Congratulations.
I'm kind of used to no sleep anyways, because I've got 3 cats, and they're all pains in the ass for different reasons, but they always seem to affect me specifically. They leave my wife alone. It's almost, I've told my wife, the oldest one either wants to, literally has a plan to off me, because he'll always walk right behind me if I'm coming downstairs, or he'll try to trip me, or I think he literally is smart enough to where it's I want to wake this guy up so that I can have his spot on the bed. I'm going to piss him off enough to where he has to leave. And so that spot is now mine. So I haven't slept properly in 8 hours. I don't know, maybe since I was in Hawaii in September when I finally got vacation away from the cats. So No Sleep Club. I am I'm
You're
ready
in
to
it.
be a card-carrying member fully. Yes.
Gilbert Diaz, 4 shots of espresso, splash of milk, baby. High potential of going 4-0 these next 4 games and getting everyone back healthy. BTFU. So, Jake, you said it was week 26?
It's week 26 that we just passed, so we're about to enter week 27 coming up.
So, I would say let's call this the week 26 recap episode. Jake becomes a father, and the Chargers blow out, dominate the Minnesota Vikings 37-10. Victory Thursday, victory Friday, hell, victory Sunday at this point. Feels great. Mini bye, Chargers getting healthier. We got some good news on the injury front about Derwin James, about Tarheeb Still and company. Lots to discuss. The Chargers Unleashed hotline was absolutely, I'll just say excited.
Excited, I'm sure.
We'll get to that in a bit. And to set the stage for this one, this was a very, let's call it testy last week or so in Chargers fandom, I believe. Who is this team? What is this team? How far can this team go? Should we have confidence in this coaching staff? So many questions. And rightly so. The Chargers come out in the absolutely beautiful throwback navies. The Superchargers come back.
Wasn't that so good? The dichotomy of the uniforms that you had the week prior against the Colts and seemingly the way that you played mimicked the color of the uniforms that they wore in that game. And then to come out 5 days later, try to flush it as fast as you can, and in the San Diego throwbacks, and look like that. I tried to give the yellow uniforms a shot. Maybe it's because they matched up with the yellow pants, but I'd be all right with burning those suckers at this point.
I actually like the yellow ones, but I loved these navies. These got to be permanent coming up here the next few years. They are too clean. You saw everyone on social media talking about them. And the Chargers played their best football of the season, arguably of the Jim Harbaugh era, considering all of that was at stake in that game. From start to finish, I should say, from the third play to finish, Chargers got lucky with that pick six possibility. Whew!
There was ever a physical manifestation of that old saying, like, how it started, how it's going. Like, that was it.
Yep. But the Chargers team, from the jump, offense, defense, special teams, coaching, adjustments, rookies, veterans, sacks, pressures, interceptions, touchdowns, rushing attack, all of it, everything was on full display. And just when folks started to have that inkling to look at the draft for FY26,
who's everyone?
The Chargers reel us all back in with a 37-10 stomping, to the point where I think Chargers fans actually felt bad for that quarterback over Minnesota. Actually felt bad. But
I did.
What I love most about this Chargers coaching staff, and you know, Jim Harbaugh and company feed off of opponents' misery. Like, you imposing your will on another grown-ass man and making them look that sad, literally that sad, that frustrated, that hurt. That is what gets this play of this team juice, man. And they just kept it going from the jump. Jake, 37-10. Lots to talk about. The hotline's lit. Before we get to that, let's talk about our friends over at Sleeper.
Want to remind everybody that the NFL season is here. Obviously, we're in the midst of week 8, which means you now have a chance to win up to 1,000 times your cash on daily fantasy football with Sleeper. Football has never been more exciting than it is right now, with players like Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Justin Jefferson. Pick on stats like these for stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, and more for up to 1,000 times payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right, and you could win big. Just make sure to use the promo code Chargers LAFB and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper terms of use for details. Currently operating in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today.
Where do you want to start? The floor is yours, my friend. How are we feeling this morning?
I think Joe Alt makes a big fucking difference. How about that? I guess that's the start of it, Dan. You come off of that Indianapolis Colts game where you just felt like you got owned, lambasted, blown out. Just everything that the Colts wanted to do against you was theirs for the taking, and they made it look easy. They made it look easy. Coming into this game, Dan, we were even wondering what the hell has happened to the Jesse Minter defense, and we'll get to that in obviously just a big second. But the biggest thing has been since that Denver Bronco game in Week 3, Justin Herbert has taken the most pressures, the most quarterback hits than any other quarterback in the NFL. And you needed some continuity on your offensive line because once again, here we go. Your offensive line is ever changing. There's another different combinations. You've had different guys going out even after the Joe Alt injury. And so you're hoping for some stability. And you got the sense from Joe Alt talking that the plan was for him to come in and start on Thursday, which thankfully he did. And then you even got word that Trey Pipkins was active for the game, which you're like, okay, you're getting that offensive line back. And then you get the news that Bobby Hart is still starting. We'll get to that in a second because that ended up actually being a little bit of a positive. But Joe Alt coming back, Dan, it just really can't be understated how big this is for this team, for number 10. And it's moments like this where you just want to punch yourself in the face because we should be seeing Joe Alt on the right side. We should be seeing Rashawn Slater on the left side. And you could arguably have the best left tackle, right tackle tandem in the league if both of these guys were in there. And again, it's just one of those type of things where it's those what if moments that you're just hoping that when it comes to next season, everybody can stay healthy. You can solidify this offensive line. But Joe Alt coming back, Dan, wow, just what an impact. And I think that it was felt throughout a majority of the rest of the offensive line. I was very impressed with just in general how the Chargers offense was able to operate. You have a score like this, an offense like this that reminds you of what they're capable of doing. I thought Justin Herbert's decision-making in terms of utilizing his legs was very, very good. Joe Alt even got rolled up on that same ankle that he hurt and just went right back into the game. Like, Joe Alt is tough as nails, man. As tough as nails. But yeah, you think number 10's happy to have his blindside protector back there for this season? Yeah, let's chalk that up to a big time yes.
The Joe Alt effect is real. And there is no more evidence than that football game. Rewind to that Colts game, fast forward to that Vikings game. It's a different movie, literally. And so I call it the Joe Alt effect. And you hear the term like force multiplier, like that is the definition of it. Not only does Joe Alt improve the offensive line and protecting Justin Herbert, he improves the run game. He improves the pass game. He improves the confidence. He improves the morale. And then, damn it, he improves just the toughness of this team. And you watch what this offense does with him against, mind you, a very good Minnesota Vikings defense. Like, don't forget that. 9 for 13 on third down. 3 for 4 in the red zone. 212 passing yards, 207 rushing yards, 39 minutes of possession, and 37 points. And honestly, it could have been mid-40s. Easy. The Chargers team didn't punt. Yes, a lot of that is Justin Herbert. A lot of that is Kamani Vidal. A lot of that is Ladd and Aranda Gadsden and the crew. Like, we get it. But Joe Alt, I'm not saying that he is the truck versus the trailer as much as Justin Herbert, but he is a damn truck. He is pulling the trailer of this team. And for those, myself included, at the time, that were pounding the table for wide receiver, and you saw Malik Neighbors go after Joe Alt, imagine what this team would look like right now without 76. He is that dominant, that important. Everything of that offense was because of 76. Absolutely unreal. Folks in the chat, you know how this goes. If you have any questions, comments, topics, thoughts, put them in the comments. We'll do our best to go through them. Jake, the hotline was fun.
Was it fun?
The hotline was fun. I'm excited for
I
you to get
don't
to
know.
this.
I'm excited to hear this.
323-902-7586 is the number to the hotline. Again, you can leave a 30-second voicemail or so, and we'll try our best to get it throughout the episode. Jake, let's get to some of these voicemails here, and we'll kind of weave these in and out of the episode here today. First voicemail. Let's hear what they have to say.
What's going on, guys? This is John here. Had a couple of days to think about the game. After that Colts game, which I didn't even watch, I simply was ready to give up on the team.
Yeah, I'm telling you. The vibes are high now. They were literally opposite this time last week.
And there was a sliver of hope left, and this Vikings game was the game where not they either lose me or they get me back in, and damn it, they brought me back.
We're so back, baby. Let's go.
Back in, and it feels good to watch my team blow out a decent team. Not like a bad team, but a decent team with a decent quarterback. Yeah, everything just went right tonight. It's been a while since we've seen a game where we didn't punt the ball at all. And, man, everything was just perfect. It was a perfect game. Best game of Jim Harbaugh's era.
Hey. It's hard to argue otherwise. Sliver of hope restored.
There's a lot in there, Dan, that I want to take away because so much of that is true. You know, the vibes after the Indianapolis Colts game were so bad because you think to yourself, if you take that 4-game stretch after the Chargers went 3-0 in the division, you're 49 seconds away from a Justin Herbert Superman drive to where you could be over. And the only team that you beat in that 4-game stretch is a team in the Miami Dolphins that's won 1 game in the season. Like, you squandered an easy part of your schedule against the Giants and Jackson Dart's rookie start, against the Washington Commanders when you took a 10-0 lead, when they didn't have Terry McLaurin, then they got you for 27 unanswered points. And then you just absolutely get bum rushed by the Indianapolis Colts. And it's not just one thing that's depleting you. This entire last month of the Chargers has been self-inflicted mistakes, dumb penalties, offensive line troubles, defense, and Jesse Minter, where you're thinking to yourself, like, what happened from week 2 of the season to go on this type of a stretch where the defense is looking just unrecognizable, undisciplined, communication completely off, special teams all of a sudden is starting to fail you. Like, you really feel like the wheels are coming off everywhere. You got players in and out, injuries, you have no run game, essentially. And you're just like at your wit's end.
Real quick, girthy guitarist, this is where you're at. I was supposed to go to that Thursday game for my birthday, but I canceled the flight after the Colts lost and seeing Denver beat New York. That's where this Chargers fandom, a lot of it was. It's like, I'm not built for this.
Yeah. And so even Lab McConkey said it after this game. Like, everybody was fed up. Like, you needed something. You needed some type of a spark. And maybe having this short week to get that game, that Indianapolis game, out of your system as quickly as possible was just the right type of medicine. Because this looked like a Jim Harbaugh-led football team that we are accustomed to seeing, where you're hitting on all 3 phases of the game, something in complementary football that you felt that they haven't played since the first week of the season. Offense, just looked like it could do whatever it wants. It was a big night for rookies in this game. Aronde Gaston, Trey Harris, RJ Mickens. It was great defensively. You get Khalil Mack playing more than 12 snaps for this game. Yeah, looks pretty damn good. Second, or technically their first real game of Khalil Mack, Owe, and Tooley playing together. Looks pretty good.
All got a sack.
Able to bring some of those corner blitzes. It looked more aggressive. I felt like Jesse Minter wasn't just sitting back in his usual soft shell zone defense for the entirety of the night. You talk about feeling bad for Carson Wentz, man. Like, I thought that was quarterback malpractice for the fact that he came in there with that arm brace, came into the game injured, and is just getting knocked around and put on his ass for the entirety of the game. Like, I know JJ was the emergency third quarterback, but for the love of God, for the sake of any type of quarterback's health, like, what are you doing, Kevin O'Connell? That was nasty. Like, this felt like a game where this should be the trend moving forward for the Chargers. Now, it's not always going to look like this. You're going to play different opponents. We know that the NFL gods are fickle when it comes to wins and losses and 1 week to the next. But this shows you what they can do. And I hope that this is really the turning point of the season where you get these last 4 games out of your system. And this is the spark that sends you for this next stretch, because you got a pretty easy upcoming schedule here before you get back to the contenders. This is where you need to start to get things to roll.
But you know what? Real quick, I don't even want to talk about easy stretch, right? And I hope this Chargers team remembers that New York Giants game, because that was supposedly an easy stretch. And maybe it was a blessing in disguise that happened then, right? Maybe. You can never overlook an opponent. But if there was a game in which Jim Harbaugh or fans can point to and say, this is why I was brought in, this is why we wanted Jim Harbaugh, this is the identity we want for this team to have, that was it. You saw a physically imposing, dominant performance in the trenches by superstars, coaching at a premium. And even with guys still out, this Chargers team dominated. Absolutely dominated. And the headline will be the offense, right? And we'll talk about the offense first. We'll talk about the defense here in a bit. We talked about the Joe Alt effect. Kamani Vidal just looks like a different player this year. And you see some of the patience, the physicality, the pass protection that he's providing this year. Bouncing off tackles, arm tackles do nothing, spinning off of them, churning legs. Second 100-yard game in 3 games. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying that he's a Martin Hampton by any means. But thank goodness we are seeing the Kamani Vidal glow up show, because remember when Greg Roman said, imagine Justin with a running game?
Yeah.
We saw it with Amarian, and now you're seeing it continue with Vidal with, of course, the return of Joe Alt. Tucker Fisk, I'm telling you, go back and watch.
I was waiting for you to bring that up.
Dude, he is making defenders miserable. Blowing folks up. Trey Harris outside with the blocking. Aronde Gatson actually with some blocking prowess. Got to get this Matt Motlock. Like, this blocking scheme of this Chargers team, again, it's the tertiary guys who are helping, right? The run game was huge. And you saw, especially in that second half, man, it was like taking candy from a baby every time. I mean, there's a sequence, I forget exactly what it was, but I wrote down, there's a sequence where Vidal goes for,
I believe it was 18 and then 21 in those 2 consecutive carries.
Well, before that, there was the second half, start off the second half. He had inside runs start the drive, 7 yards, 9 yards, 9 yards, back to back to back. Then gets the dump off to gain 9 on third down. Like, there's a 4-play sequence where he just dominated.
I think that was the first drive of the second half that you're
First drive of the
describing.
second half. And then, again, to your point, third offensive drive. Vidal goes broken tackle, gain of 18, bounces off defenders, sheds arm tackles, no big deal. And then again, 23 physical yards. Patient, bouncing outside, breaking tackles again, spin move, Tucker Fist making it look easy, opening up carpool lanes. And he would have had another rushing touchdown. Quentin missed a block down there at the goal line. Got to the one instead. But the offense overpowered, and it was Kamani Vidal, Oronde Gadsden again. It was Trey Harris. We saw Ladd McConkey and Keenan getting anything they wanted. Aside from that one crazy drop by Ladd where it like literally hit him in the face. Like, I don't know how that even happens. You saw him on the sidelines, like, what just happened? It was so weird. It's like a little...
My best friend who has Ladd McConkey on his fantasy team literally texted me right after that. He's like, I swear to God, I'm cursed. It's like, because there was nobody around Ladd on that pass. And even you're watching that game, you're like, wait, what? Ladd really dropped that one? I'm like, that won't happen again. And sure enough, it didn't happen again.
No.
Dan, one of the other stats that you brought up a few minutes ago, 3 of 4 in the red zone. Let's not forget, this was a Chargers offense that was, they're still technically bottom of the barrel when it comes to red zone offense this year. And that's just wild when you have number 10 at quarterback and the weapons that you have. So you needed to get better there. And being more efficient in that category obviously is going to be huge. When you can start scoring touchdowns, putting those up on the board as opposed to field goals, it's a night and day difference. It is a night and day difference. And Dan, it has been 27 minutes and 45 seconds that we have now been on this show. And you have not gone off on your Oronde Gadsden II rant yet because you didn't get a chance to talk about it during the Indianapolis game when he had his huge, huge game. And he coupled that up, wanted people to not forget that that wasn't a one-off. This is now becoming a trend. So, Dan Wolkenstein, if you had not watched our draft coverage, day 3 recap of the NFL draft, there was no pick that Dan was arguably more excited about than the former Syracuse tight end, Oronde Gadsden II.
You know, I went back, actually, literally last night. I went back to our tight end rankings show pre-draft just to make sure that I wasn't crazy. And I believe I had Oronde Gadsden ranked either 6th or 7th on my list of top 10 tight ends.
Just above me. Just above me.
And actually, you may have had him outside the top 10. You were going back and forth, and then you ended up barely outside the top 10. But
yeah, okay. Let's see there. That's how much
but you liked him. But you liked him. But you liked him. On that episode, I had talked about the archetype, and I talked about the Colson Lovelands, that physical, the presence, right? The stature. You look at the tight end that they tried to bring in that went to the Broncos.
Evan Ingram.
Same size. And then you look at the production of Oronde Gadsden in college. And yes, he's a tight end, former wide receiver. You've heard all the stuff, right? But he's a big slot. And I talked about it on the episode of the tight end rankings of like, this is the archetype. This is the style that this Chargers team is looking for, both Michigan days as well as here with the Chargers. And you're seeing it come to fruition. And at the time, it was like, dude, I don't even care about the blocking aspect, which Oronde Gadsden's actually getting better and better with that aspect. Justin Herbert with an athletic freak at tight end is a cheat code. And Gadsden, my favorite part of this entire game was watching Gadsden clap back at the linebacker in coverage.
After he
and you see later on, he's like talking to his teammates about like, he's yapping, doing the little hand signal. 5th round gem, Oronde Gadsden. Was it 5 catches or 6 catches for 77 yards or something like that, all in the first half? Just stealing souls. You see the chemistry building. This is one of the finer moments of mine. It's like I effing told all of you guys this, and here we are. Yeah, it's exciting for me. It's bittersweet. I love watching Gatson, and most importantly, Justin Herbert loves having him on his team. All of his teammates talked about how much he impressed during training camp, OTAs, preseason. It was just a matter of time. And the fact that he is now putting up these numbers without playing 2 of the games. I mean, he's a top 3 tight end in the NFL for the season and didn't even play the first couple weeks. I would know, Jake, my fantasy team, I've got Tucker Kraft, Tyler Warren, and Aronde Gadsden. And now I'm like, how am I not going to start Aronde Gadsden? What do I do? So I'm looking for trades.
Yeah, you better be looking for trades. Dan, this is just such a fun development to watch, especially just over the last 2 weeks. You honored Antonio Gates, with that ceremony during the Colts game. Remember, I told you that Aronde Gadsden was going to be an X factor in that game, albeit not for the Chargers getting their asses handed to them in that game. But he was one of the bright spots, very few. And then for Thursday Night Football to kick off National Tight Ends Week, let's not forget about that is this week, to have him come up with a follow-up performance like that, Justin Herbert just going right back to him. It just goes to show you that, we can have all the lads and the third and Keenans and everything like that, but Justin Herbert does not play favorites. If you develop chemistry with him, if you develop rapport with him, and then he develops trust with you, he's going to find you. And the fact that one of the biggest things that we talked about when we had, broke down Aronde Gadsden's tape, Dan, and this was one of the same reasons that they brought in Trey Harris in the draft, was the contested catches. And not only that, you mentioned it, converted wide receiver. Aronde Gadsden has mentioned that he likes to run every single route that's out there. Why? Because he's used to doing that. So here's where you can put those tight ends in mismatch situations that just are not fair for opposing defenses. It's just been a great thing to watch over the last couple of weeks, and you're wondering how far it can go. I love the fact that Aronde Gadsden Sr. says that his son is going to continue riding the bench on his fantasy football team because he doesn't want to jinx it. He is going to torpedo his fantasy football team with his son on the roster just because he does not want to tank this trend that he is currently on.
Oh, man, we got some super chats here. Thank you so much to those. Thomas Hawley with $5 super chat. Here's the Dan calling OG2. Now he's taking most or all of Conklin's snaps. Yes. Shout out. Hanan with the $5 super sticker. Thank you. Matthew Dahl says, unfortunately, Becton not worth $10 million a year. We'll get to that. The fact that the Chargers offensive line might have looked a little better when he was not there. Now, again, he might be injured and he might be going through stuff and he's trying to push through and just not working. We don't know. But the reality is right now that Chargers offensive line looked better with him out of it this week in isolation, right? A couple things. One, yes, Aronde Gadsden, clearly tight end 1. Not a question. The other part that I thought was interesting, there were some comments here I want to bring up. Where was it? It was the catch rate. 83% for Gadsden. For comparison, second is Harris with 70, Keenan Allen 69, Ladd at 63, Quentin at 60. And there are some other comments in the chat about now the best news is that Quentin isn't getting any targets. I don't necessarily make a big deal out of the fact that Quentin not getting targets in terms of Quentin's future with the team. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as, to your point, Jake, Justin doesn't give a shit.
And neither should anybody else. Think about this. Quentin Johnston coming into this game was your most productive wide receiver. You didn't throw to him once this game and you put up 37 points. That's the perspective that should be looked at here.
Yeah, it's similar to weeks 1 and 2, right? Chargers go 2-0. Quentin Johnston's going off. Aronde Gadsden's not even being looked at. No one's saying, oh, that means Aronde Gadsden is an afterthought. He's not going to be good. It just means they didn't need him yet. Chargers didn't even need Quentin in that game to go off. Will they need him later? I think yes. And Jake, we talked about it preseason. the weapons that this Chargers team has.
Oh, does it feel different than a year ago?
Good Lord.
Holy
And
shit.
that's without Najee Harris and Omari Hampton playing. That's without KLS on the field. That's Quentin with no targets. You see how easy it looks when you have a tight end like OG2. He's only going to get better. Jake, remember back in college, Ronnie Gaston last year, I believe, was 103 targets, only 3 drops. That's like a 98% catch rate. Well, no, that's not true because he didn't. All the targets were caught, but he only had 3 drops. Not too shabby. Anything else you want to talk about Kamani Vidal? We talked about him earlier.
Great game for Kamani Vidal, honestly. It's you talk about just someone who's been waiting patiently for their opportunity, and then to have the game that he had against Minnesota, getting only 9 carries for 20 yards against the Colts just because you put yourself so far in a hole that you really had to just abandon the run game. And then again, to get back to a Greg Roman offense that looks like a Greg Roman offense with Kamani Vidal, who's a former 6th-round pick. And you look at him just compared to build from a Najee Harris and Marion Hampton to what Kamani Vidal is physically. It's a great thing, Dan. It really is, just to see him step up that way. He was running angry. He was running like someone owed him money. He was being physical for someone of his stature coming in there and laying the blocks and protecting for Justin Herbert. And you go back and you recap that 2024 draft now of Joe Ortiz. That's pretty damn good.
We'll get the defense here in a bit with the Boygby shining.
Yeah, I mean, it's not always starters that you're going to get in the NFL draft. But when you need moments like this, where there's key depth pieces, where starting opportunities like this come up, and when they say that whole next man up mentality, I don't think that there's anybody who could personify that better right now than Kamani Vidal is doing.
Your RB3
Truly.
just went for $1 2 out of 3 weeks.
Technically, it's RB4 because Hassan Haskins was also out for this game.
Yep. Jeez.
And what has been the big talk as of late for these 2 injuries with Harris and Hampton going down, and everybody's expecting the Chargers to go out and get a running back for the trade deadline. Kamani Vidal's making an argument right now to say you don't need to do shit. Mm-hmm. Like, I got you.
Yep. I agree. Hugo Boss, what's up, guys? Set my alarm for this, but I slept through it.
Nice, but I'm glad you made it. 38 minutes late, but you're here. That's all that matters.
Oh, man. It's all good. Jake, let's get some of these voicemails here, and then we'll talk about some of our friends here pay the bills. Next voicemail, Jake, again, you can call into the voicemail anytime, 323-902-7586. Next voicemail.
San Diego Superchargers charge.
Pause it down.
Like all the feels.
I just wanted to take just like 5 seconds for that. Cool. All right, we're good.
Damn,
Thanks.
where's that team been, guys? Where the hell has that team been the last?
Right? Again, what is the one thing that was the force multiplier that turned that Colts game into the Vikings game? That's where the team's been. It's been on the bench.
Last few weeks. That was a performance. Damn, not gonna lie. Sunday's game, absolute garbage.
I'm telling you, the dichotomy between these 2 weeks could not be more drastic.
This is why it's frustrating being a fan of this team. Because you always come back with like phrases like this. Where the hell has this team been? Like, this is what they're capable of. On paper, it looks super talented. You know what they can do because you've seen it before. You just wonder to yourself, like, how the hell do we go from one side of I'm done with this team to 5 days later, we're back?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
pretty much the life of any NFL fan, but For the Chargers specifically, good Lord, it happens more often than not.
It's a Billy Crystal, like, hello. That's what this is like.
That's right.
I mean, I didn't even recognize the team. Didn't recognize the defense. Nothing. Yeah, everybody was saying Jesse Minter was washed. I was one of those people.
Yep. A lot of people putting some smoke on him.
Holy shit. We need to do something about these injuries, guys. We seriously need to figure out what the hell is going on. Derwin James. I mean, we had, 3 or 4 starters tonight go down?
Thankfully, most of those are okay. It looks like Derwin James, the low ankle sprain, Tarheeb still seems to be fine. He talked about it post-game. I think Tony Jefferson was fine, came back in afterwards.
Came back. Mm-hmm.
So
Becton's was the big one that you don't know how long that's going to linger.
And you see him on the sidelines trying to get back in, but something's not right. So we'll see.
I mean, what the hell? But you know what? This team rallied. I saw Justin Herbert in true form tonight. He just was like, you're not taking me down. Head diving into defenders. And then Kamani Vidal. Where did you come from? This is the Vidal we've been waiting for, and all of a sudden you decide to just turn it on tonight? Just breaking tackles, twisting and turning? What is it? Is it the old uniforms? Did you feel the LT power? Damn, guys, tonight felt good. 10 days. We got 10 days before we play Tennessee. Should be an easy win. Nothing's easy in the NFL, but 10 days to get healthy. Woo! Joe Alt. Look at the difference that Herbert plays when Joe Alt is on that line. Let's go, boys. Hell yeah. Bolt up.
Oh. Vibes there felt great.
Dan, if there was a petition to make the Navy unis the standard, I'd sign it. I don't even care if it relates to a win or loss record. It just looks so damn good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sweet jumps. The Qualcomm vibes was amazing Thursday. Hugo Boss, I was getting major FOMO from what I heard. It felt like a game at Qualcomm. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Love it. San Diego Superchargers, says Jeremy L. with those unis. Shout out to the Chargers staff, to the marketing team, to the design team. I mean, they had that thing looking beautiful. Brad Jake is here. Bong hits for everyone. 8:45 a.m. and Brad is token. Good for you, my friend. Man, that felt good. And we all know the record of the previous Navies. Not great, Bob.
No, not great, Bob.
But you see the likes of Rodney Harrison talks about LT and Rivers and Gates and kind of the old school unis and bringing back the Qualcomm, the 8-bit stuff. And you had to perform in that environment with those uniforms. So you had to. And to see them put on a show like that was just, I think that's being from San Diego and seeing this team kind of go through it and seeing them reach back into the San Diego bucket and be like, we see you, we hear you, we want you here. Like, you're part of this. Some of them might not want it. I get it. It's fine. But to see them come through in that uniform, I know it's, it's an optics thing, but like that stuff matters to people. I really think it matters to people. I mean, if they went out there and shat the bed in those uniforms, just like the yellow ones, like you don't think there'll be salty San Diego fans just dunking on it? Yes, some people want this team to still be in San Diego, and a lot of people would love it. But like right now, they're 90 minutes north? Whatever. Like we're past that right now. And now this is like, I know the Los Angeles Chargers, but in my opinion, this is starting to turn into like the Southern California Chargers. And winning cures a lot of those wounds. For some, they'll never heal. But with a performance like that, with a retro throwback, that's how you start, man. Like that's how you start. It's so fun. Jake, we've gone 40 minutes, right? We haven't even talked about Keenan and Ladd much. Haven't talked about the
defense.
Haven't talked about the defense at all. Keenan and Ladd literally look like they can do whatever they want. Literally whatever they want. Third and Keenan's real. Ladd is always open. You see him torch, rain, teardrop throw by Justin sidelines.
Great throw, great catch.
Unreal. Absolutely smokes Jeff Okudah. the last thing I think we should talk about for the offense, a mobile Justin Herbert is something to watch. And you saw it from the jump. You saw it from the first series. Extend the play, that third down conversion to Keenan. You saw him tuck it. You saw him extend the pocket on bootlegs. You saw him climb the pocket and either deliver strikes or rush for explosives. He was on a mission. And after that weird throw, there were two bad plays that he had the entire game. There was the almost pick six, and then there was the kind of bad decision, in my opinion, even if it was not tipped.
The cross-field interception, yeah.
That gave the interception, gave Minnesota some momentum back for a little bit. Other than those two things, that was about as perfect of a quarterback performance as you can see in the modern NFL. At the end of the day, this was an incredible performance by the Chargers offense. Blocking was great. Pass protection, run blocking, all of it. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Anything else on the offense, Jake, before we talk about our friends over at Brunt?
Bobby freaking Hart. Way to turn it around. Way to turn it around. I get it. Your first game that you're starting against the Colts in 3 years, and it showed 5 days later. That wasn't bad. And again, I was even wondering the exact same thing when we got the news that Trey Pipkins was active. And all of a sudden I see the tweet drop from Popper saying, Bobby Hart's in the starting lineup for, warm-ups. I'm like,
everyone's like facepalm.
Wait, what? Wait a minute. Trey Pipkins is just back active. Like, what's happening? And this is now the level of the mindset that we have become because of the injuries and everything like that. It's like we're elated to see that Trey Pipkins is back starting right tackle. But Bobby Hart, show me more of that. I'm down for that.
Please. Jake, before we get to the defensive side, more voicemail, let's talk about our friends over at Brunt.
Oh, Dan, when it comes to Brunt was tired of the workwear brands out there cutting corners. You had to work hard to be stuck on uncomfortable boots that don't hold up. So they built something better. Boots that are insanely comfortable and built for any job site. For a limited time, our listeners get up to $10 off at Brunt when you use the promo code LAFB at checkout. Just head on over to bruntworkwear.com. Use the promo code, and I said LAFB. I meant Chargers LAFB. And you are good to go. And after that order, they'll ask you where you heard about Brunt, and just do us a favor and tell them that Chargers Unleashed sent you.
First half offense was the best offense by EPA for any team all season. No punts either. Yeah, they had like 230 yards of offense, something like that in the first half. I mean, that offense was humming throughout. Absolutely insane. The other part too, last thing on the offense, I'll say, middle eight, huge. Huge.
I was waiting for you to use that term after the Ladd McConkey touchdown, and then how they came out and started just running the ball down Minnesota's throat to end up getting the tack on the field goal in the middle eight. That's how you work the middle eight. That's great. That's why you see so many teams when they win the coin toss defer, because they want that middle eight opportunity.
10-0 in the middle eight. You'll take it. Jake, next voicemail. Let's get some of these.
Oh man.
Is this Brad Spicoli?
It's either he's having a really good time or he's choking on something. I don't know what it is, but hopefully it's all right. Maybe he got some, water went down the wrong pipe. Whatever it is, I'm expecting something good out of this.
Hitting a bit too hard tonight. Yeah. How y'all doing? Boober for South Florida. We did it, guys, in prime time in the new Supercharger jerseys, the one I'm currently wearing right now. It's great. It's really the probably quiet down, but who cares? Point is, we won in prime time. This is what you need to get that game. And you did it with Mackay going in and out of the lineup. Your second best offensive lineman in and out of the lineup. Your heart and soul of your defense being downgraded to out in the first half in Derwin James is Oronde going back to back. Trey Harris with the touchdown. And even though he didn't get the sack, at least something I was watching kind of the pressure, I wish Troy Dye got his revenge again a bit more. It's okay though. It's fine. We won. On to the next one. Bolt up.
Defense, Dan. Oh, sorry. That was not a sound I was expecting to hear. On the soundboard over there.
Let the train roll.
Okay. That's Dan Wolkenstein is opening up the soundboards. I see. Okay.
Another one. Another one.
Where did you get all these all of a sudden? Is this what you spent your time on your vacation doing? Like, hey,
Look.
I'm going to add a new element into Chargers Unleashed. I'm going to get myself a little bit of a soundboard and add some more audio.
Fire the sirens. Fire the foghorns. Give me some train sounds.
Okay.
I don't care what you need. Folks are
Defense,
back on board. Defense
That looked
dominates.
familiar. That looked like the Jesse Minter defense that we are accustomed to seeing. You could tell post-game, pre-game from the comments of Khalil Mack that he was pretty pissed from the standpoint that he was only limited to 12 snaps in that Indianapolis Colts game. Now, I get it. You don't want to rush him out too early. You're not entirely sure what his production is going to be coming off of that dislocated elbow. But in 12 snaps, the guy gets a sack in the Indianapolis Colts game. And against one of the most productive running backs in the league, when you really need some help on the edge defensively and you only kept him to 12 snaps, look at what he was doing against the run game in this game. Khalil Mack was crashing the line and just giving no lanes for running backs, not allowing anybody to really bounce outside. The combination of Thule, Owe, and Khalil Mack, they all shined in this game. And how about Justin Ebogbe? Wow. I mean, we heard it, Dan, going all the way back to training camp. We even heard Jesse Minter personally highlight Justin Ebogbe coming into this season. And obviously, you didn't get a chance to see him much last year for a number of different reasons. But what a way to step up in the interior. I mean, he's taking on double teams in order to get to Carson Wentz and put him on the ground. Dan, there was one sequence. I can't remember if this was when he got his second sack or if it was just a quarterback pressure, but literally Justin Ebogbe just took the offensive line and threw him to the ground. I mean, just absolutely manhandled him. All of a sudden, you're starting to see this Chargers defensive line take over the trenches. We've talked so much about Tierre Tart and being the physical presence there, where Jamari Caldwell has had some of those moments throughout this season.
Literally
But with
first drive.
Yeah, but with Deshaun Hand out and other guys in the defensive line, you're looking for someone else to come up and create pressure. And what a hell of a way to do it for Justin Ebogbe. Pardon me, I'm having my own choking problem over here. So give me a second.
Yeah, the defense absolutely dominated from the jump. And again, we talked about it earlier. Like, you kind of felt bad for Carson Wentz, but Jim Harbaugh and company were just getting off on that. They were. Jamari Caldwell from the jump, absolutely wrecking shop. Deion Henley, Tierre Tart as well. They made Carson Wentz's life a living hell from the first series on.
Denzel Perryman shooting the gap.
He was absolutely rocked by Deion Henley and Dermott on that first series too. Forced a punt. I think they punted on 3 of 4 first possessions. Not bad. Not bad. And honestly, the fact that the Chargers defense gave up 1 touchdown in this game, and the 1 touchdown they gave up,
it was on a short field.
It was on a short field in which they stopped him on 4th down. Benjamin St. Juste had
sequence of events.
Benjamin St. Juste had an unnecessary penalty. It was a penalty. Completely unnecessary. Elijah Molden had it covered. The penalty didn't matter. Dan Henley rocked Carson Wentz on that. Extends the series, then they get the touchdown. That's the only way they scored a touchdown in this entire game. Was extended because of a penalty on 4th down, and because they had a field goal that was made, that then they had legal procedure because there was 12 men on the field, and they went from a field goal to make it 24-6, 24-3. They go back to try to get a touchdown and said that's all of the weird dichotomy that got to a touchdown. an utter dominant performance. And he talks about the trio, Adafe Owe, Tuli, and Khalil Mack. Those three really shined.
Dan, I want to highlight Cam Hart. I thought Cam Hart had a great game. His main responsibility was covering Justin Jefferson this game. Justin Jefferson, who still hasn't scored a touchdown since week 1, by the way. But again, you're talking about a Chargers defense who was virtually just soft zone, allowed any teams to do whatever they want. They've allowed explosive plays through this last 4-game skid. They're coming into this with Addison, Jefferson, and Hawkinson that can definitely show up and do what they want to do. We've seen this Minnesota offense capable of that. I thought Cam Hart had 2 fantastic pass breakups covering Justin Jefferson in this game. You saw Tarheeb still starting to come off the on the corner blitz and where they were utilizing him. It just fell back to that vintage type of Jesse Minter defense, with R.J. Mickens coming into the lineup after Derwin James and Tony Jefferson go down to get your first career interception in this game. It's just guys all of a sudden showing up when they needed to show up. And once again, you can look at this as, from one perspective of being frustrated to say, where has this been for the past month? Or you use this as the catalyst to say, this was the moment that everybody came back to refocus. And when you can utilize pieces like this, Dan, again, we're talking about Cam Hart and Tarheeb Still. Once again, you highlight this Joe Ortiz 2024 draft class. You talk about R.J. Mickens, who was a late round draft pick this season, having to step into the shoes of Derwin James and Tony Jefferson. Like, are you kidding me? Those are easy shoes to fill in a crucial game for your team.
Think about that 2024 draft Super Princess puts here. Ortiz hit on like 6 picks in 2024. That's crazy. Like, think about that for a second. Go through those names that Joe Ortiz drafted in 2024. Joe Alt, clearly.
Previous regime never hit on anything close to that in a decade.
Joe Alt, Lad McConkey, 3rd round pick, linebacker. He's been crippled with injuries, so we'll see. And that was honestly the one that I was most confident about at the time. So we'll see. Boygby now in season 2 looks like a different player. Tarheeb Still, Cam Hart look phenomenal. Kamani Vidal, hello. R.J. Mickens, hello. That's 7.
Well,
Impact players.
You combined 2 drafts together on that last one, but yes.
I'm sorry. You're right. That's 6. You're right. R.J. Mickens this year. I mean, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
You're lucky if you can find 2 to 3 impact players like immediately on your team, let alone what Dan just rattled off to say that's 5 in a single draft. And 4 of them are starters. Like, are you kidding me? That is a tremendous hit rate.
6 guys making impact plays already in that draft class. Absolutely unreal. I'm glad you mentioned Cam Hart. The highest graded defender in this Chargers team, week 8, was Cam Hart. 92.4 defensive grade, 91.5 coverage grade. Targeted 5 times, just 2 receptions for 12 yards. 2 receptions, 12 yards. Welcome back, Denzel Perriman. Felt him from the jump.
Oh.
It's a different run defense when he's there. I'm telling you.
I mean, I will say this. It's also different when you're going up against Minnesota's line. Let's call a spade to Indianapolis's line.
I don't give a shit.
I know. I get it, because it was great to see him shoot the gap the way that he was in this game.
Sure.
Again, it just felt like everybody was playing pissed off, and you kind of needed to be. Your back was against the wall. Your only win in the last 4 weeks had been against a 1-win team. You needed to come out and you needed to remind everybody to say, hey, this is who we were the first 3 weeks of the season. This is what we're capable of. And I'm just talking about defensively. I'm not talking offense here, because I've said it a number of times until I blew in the face. During that 4-game skid, you could historically, from what we've come to know from Jesse Minter's defense, like, that was the crutch that you can lean on to get you the ball back, to give Justin Herbert another opportunity. And when you've seen this whole skid over this last month of them with uncharacteristic penalties, some having 14 in a game, mainly on the defense, which is just insane. Playing with no communication, allowing explosive plays, can't set the edge in the run game. I mean, just looking complete polar opposite of themselves. This was a return to form for Jesse Minter and those defensive players.
This was probably the most exciting component of this game for me, was watching Carson Wentz in hell. And we
It's so dark.
I know.
Watching Carson Wentz in hell.
But listen to this for a second. We talk about the defensive front, right? We talk about production. We hear Khalil Mack talk about like enough talking. Like we need action, right? How about this for a defensive front? Thule, Khalil Mack, Justin Aboigbe, Odafe Owe, Jamar Caldwell. Those 5 guys. 20 pressures between those 5 alone.
Crazy.
4 sacks. Let's see. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 hurries. That's just from your defensive front. That's what wins football games. That is a Jesse Minter defense. That's not including the Derwin James pressures. Not including the Tarheeb Still stuff. Not including that is just those 5 dudes getting that much pressure. Cam Hart, Khalil Mack, Denzel Perryman. I mean, the list goes on. Honestly, Dante Jackson had a great game. That game was phenomenal. That is... Ooh, I like that. Sweet Jump says, wincing Wentz. I like that. Yeah, and literally, he was wincing. Like, you felt bad. You talked about like the brace, and even on that pass break,
I did feel bad, honestly, man. Like your quarterback is literally writhing in pain on the field.
Was it that tip pass by Tarheeb Still, I believe, where it looked like he barely even touched his arm, and then Wentz is just dejected. It was awful.
Dan, I know we don't have to necessarily worry about Chargers football today. Tom Pelissero with a tweet right now.
Oh, I don't like your reaction to this.
Tarheeb Still, who left Thursday night's win with a knee injury, suffered an MCL sprain that is likely to sideline him 2 to 4 weeks.
That's tough.
You hope it's on. I mean, you listen to Tarheeb's comments after that game, and he was very confident that he was not going to be missing any time. He did not think it was that big of a deal. Hopefully it's on the lesser side of things. And so hopefully you can see him return back in 2 weeks. Luckily for the Chargers, in terms of their schedule, I really don't even believe that it's a game that you need Tarheeb Still or Derwin James, for that matter, to win against Tennessee. And you get a little bit of a mini bye here, which is good. But once again, here we go with the Chargers injury news that you just hate to see.
That's a bummer. Super Princess, I hate to be that guy who is positive on Greg Roman. By the way, Super Princess, I hate to be that guy. Who would have thunk? I hate to be that guy who is positive on Greg Roman, but our offense is ranked 3rd in yards per game with half the team out at some point. That's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but when you think about it in terms of, I guess you have to look at it in terms of the Chargers having to play from behind in certain situations, especially in that Indianapolis game. Like they rolled the stats for Justin Herbert coming into Thursday saying that he leads the league in passing. Well, yeah, no shit. It's like he's had 3 come from behind wins already this season. Goes career high in the Indianapolis game, albeit in a loss, and then has another spectacular performance on Thursday. But when you can start putting your foot on other teams from an offensive standpoint and just keep the gas rolling, like hell yeah, it looks good.
Did you see? I think it was a 3rd defensive series, the one that they got like the 54-yard field goal. Minnesota did. First off, Perryman had the interception in his hands. He read that perfectly. Just dropped it.
Yeah.
But did you see Thule with that one arm, no look arm tackle on the running back? Oh, dude, go back and check this out. It was sick. A little nerve-wracking at times, but like go back and watch that. Rewind. He's literally getting washed out. He just turns around, not even looking at the play, grabs the running back, pulls him down for the tackle. He wasn't even in the play. Unreal. Defense was dominant, right? You saw Tarkey with the blitz, batted ball, forced a punt. I mean, we talked about the pressure from that defensive front, right? Like, it was this thing of beauty. Mack gets a sack. Thule gets a sack. Owe gets a sack. Aboigbe gets sacks. I mean, it was absolutely insane. I mean, Mack is, you mentioned it, wrecking shop in the run game. Crazy. The defense just looked unreal. And then to top it off with a Mickens interception at the end, you give out a confidence with that secondary. That's huge, man. It's huge. This was as collective of a win as you can get. Feels good. You mentioned it. That stretch coming up is a big one. You talk about, in my opinion, I always said 10 wins gets you in. You got 5. This stretch is a great time to bank some.
Yeah.
If you can go 3-1, like I feel pretty confident this team is in the playoffs. You go 3-1, give yourself 2 more games to win that back stretch. Man.
Remember, coming into this game, I think the Chargers were just under 60% of making the playoffs, and that was before their win on Thursday Night Football. Thursday night's game was huge in a multitude of different ways.
Brad says, rookies are stepping up. Sweet jumps. Will this performance transfer to Tennessee? Again, like there have been opportunities. That Giants game was ripe for the taking. And it would have absolutely shot this team off like a rocket. And then it crumbled. We're at that same point now, right? They've got the momentum back. They're getting folks healthy. Vibes are good, right? Accountability in the coaching staff, accountability with the players, aside from Bradley Bozeman. This is another opportunity. This is like a show me. All right, you guys are back.
I will say I am pretty excited to go up against Mike McCoy.
Look, like 6-3, given what this team has gone through, would be a huge accomplishment.
It's pretty good.
But 5-4, like 5-4 and 6-3 are very different when you look at the back end of the schedule. You got winnable games here. You got Tennessee, you got Jacksonville, you got Pittsburgh. I mean, 3-1 should be the goal. I mean, hell, 4-0 should be the goal. But man. Let's get to some more voicemails here, Jake. Next voicemail. See what they got to say.
What's up, guys? This is Matthew. That's how you win a football game, baby. Let's go. Complete football team. Great performance today, man. The uniforms, freaking amazing. Love those uniforms, man. Awesome. Justin Herbert, shout out to you, man. But come on, man. You got to start running the ball more, man. Like this game. Love it, man. You run the ball, man. Keep doing that, man. You know, if your O-line sucks, run the damn ball. You know, you shouldn't have Al Michaels telling you to run the ball and stuff. You know, you know better, man. You're a runner. Come on. But other than that, defense played amazing. You know, the quarterback, Justin Herbert played amazing. Ron Gaston, man, we got to start the tight end, guys. Woo, boy. That dude's badass. Thank you. So, great win, man. Hope Derwin James is okay. Man, it's so annoying to see his high ankle sprains, man. Hope he's okay. Hope he's not long.
Low ankle sprain. But still.
Out for too long. But great win. We'll have to see next week against the Titans, man. But awesome win. Love you guys. Bolts up, baby. Fuck.
Yeah, hopefully this Tarheeb Still injury is not a precursor to what any news we may hear from Derwin James. Again, initial reports the day following, so on Friday, was that Derwin James had a low ankle sprain, and because of the mini bye week, there was talk that he may miss little to no time at all. So time will tell on that. It's a bummer for Tarheeb Still, considering his vibes after that game, and all things considered. And people had already put it in the chat here, but 100% Nico Reed should see the field next week against the Tennessee Titans, which...
Ooh, that's Jake's guy.
I think it's a good game for a Nico Reed coming out party. That's not the preseason.
Yep. And again, folks on that choo-choo train for Ronnie Gadsden.
You have added the soundboard.
Oh, man. Folks on that Kamani Vidal train. Are we back on the Jesse Metro train? Where are we at with that one?
I mean, I don't see how you couldn't be with the defense performing like that. You just hope that the train doesn't all of a sudden get derailed or, go over a rock and the train falls off the tracks, or pushing the DeLorean to 88 miles per hour and then it just goes off. You don't want that.
Nope. Robert says, I'm not saying that the Minnesota game was a must-win game, but it was a must-win.
It was a must-win. It was a must-win. The vibes after that Colts game with this fan base, if you would have went out on Thursday Night Football and squandered another one, to only win 1 out of 5, I mean, how you started off the season 3-0, you would have been in really, really bad shape. Not just from what the fan base was feeling, but the vibes in the locker room just would have been out. I mean, honestly, and not to say that they would have given up on Harbaugh, but just to say, like, hey, what is it going to take for us to turn it around? And hey, sometimes it takes getting your ass whipped to getting things in gear. And yeah, Joe Alt has a lot to do with certain things like that.
100%. 100%. And people are getting back to the nostalgia of Qualcomm. I can't pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. Hui? Please help me if I'm getting that wrong. The crazy train for kickoff was so nostalgic. 100%. Gadsden actually looked a little bit like Winslow than Gates. Yeah, I mean, I think Gadsden looked like Gadsden. Like, that's him. Like, he doesn't have to look like, you don't have to put him in a box, right? Like, it's so great watching Gadsden ball out. Absolutely love it. That Colts game had everyone inside the locker room, outside the locker room, fans, analysts, everyone questioning, who is this Chargers team? And the answer was going to be this week. If they lost that Vikings game, people would have put the stamp on that team, branded as advertised. Nothing's changed. Next. But this answer brought back into the question of, are they a contender? How good can they look if they're healthy? Are they back? Is Justin Herbert an MVP candidate? Like that's where we're at. So these momentum swings, right? These happen throughout the NFL, but like it was certainly a turning point. And there was so much that could have gone worse if this Chargers team lost that game. Super Princess says, Vikings fans were devastated. I've never seen a fan base that crushed after a loss. It was kind of funny. Were you at the game? If you were, that'd be great. Next voicemail, Jake.
Wah, wah, wah. Bob from Boston.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Super Bowl. Yay.
Oh, we already did this one. This is old.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Bob.
I was ready for it.
Sorry, Bob.
Skull. Skull. Well, the Vikings definitely got skulled by the Chargers tonight, baby. This is Bandar from Memphis. What's up, guys? Herbert is officially Brian Flores' kryptonite. I heard in another Vikings podcast that he actually changed his coverage scheme last time he faced Herbert. Well, it doesn't matter. It didn't work again. But what a game by the Chargers from all facets, especially on the short week. After the thumping that we took, way to answer back. We got the Titans next. Hopefully we can keep this roll going. Concerned about Duran. Hopefully he's okay. The secondary still stepped up even with him out. R.J. Mickens coming up with an interception. Cam Hart was all over the place. Hopefully we can get this dub next week. And if anyone's going to Nashville, hope to see you there. Bolt up. Let's go.
Nashville will be fun. I've heard that place is great.
Oh, yeah.
Folks in Nashville, have fun. Next voicemail.
How's it going, guys? The day after. great win. I got to catch the game at work. Defense really stepped up. Even with Derwin James going down in Tarkib, like, keeping them to 10, amazing. How about Joe Alt coming back into the lineup and just completely changing the offensive line? Like, yeah, they still got some here and there, but, like, man, it makes such a huge difference to have that man back. He's a captain for a reason. And Odafe Owe, let's fucking go. Going back to the defense. Coming in and another sack in another game. Vaults up, and let's get Tennessee next week, guys. Have a good day.
Side note, Dan, I would love to hear this caller talk right after Daniel Wade from Locked On Chargers, because that sounded so similar to one another. I'm like, Wade? Was that you?
Hello?
It's literally has the right timbre. Honestly, it's just like, Wade? Are you sure this isn't some doppelganger? What are you trying to prank Chargers Unleashed right now? What's going on?
Maybe it's him. Who knows? Chargers Unleashed hotline was going crazy. Let's get to the next one.
Jake and Dan. Shane out here in Texas. Well, back on track, I hope. Wouldn't be a Charger win, though, without losing an all-pro player.
We need like an undertone of like
it's like, yeah, but
Wild West theme. No. I'm more thinking like, got the Wild West out here. We're talking about Texas. They got the accent. I mean, it's perfect.
Well, you're jamming on the soundboards right now, Dan, so I'm sure you could get to work. All of a sudden, you're going to create like a new theme song for wherever someone's calling in from. Like, hey, let's get some South Carolina vibes in here. Someone's calling from Friendship, Maine. Like, by all means. Don't really know what that one was for, but jeez. That should be obviously after a Chargers loss. What the hell have you been doing these past 2 weeks since we've done a show?
I'm having too much fun. You know what Chargers fans' heart sounded like when the interception was thrown by Justin?
Kinda. That last soundboard, that was apparently Carson Wentz when he was down on the ground writhing in pain. So here, jeez, Dan. You're having way too much fun. And the fact that you all of a sudden decided to discover this during the show.
That was the ambulance taking Carson Wentz to the hospital afterwards.
Jeez, Dan.
Oh. Next voicemail.
God knows when.
Oh, same one.
Love to see Herbert spreading wealth, dishing dimes out to the playmakers, of which there are many.
Can't you just see like tumbleweeds going through
the
screen?
Go. Like now, all of a sudden, this is the creative juices flowing. That's all great, Dan. Let's get through the poor guy's voicemail.
Finally, Jesse redeemed as we all knew he would. At least this may cool down some of that head coach scuttlebutt, and we can keep him for a minute. But the announcers, oh my God, guess how Michaels did this clown.
You know, Al's at the point of his career. We have to understand this. Al's at the point of his career when you think about the peaks of where Al Michaels has been, which obviously just one of the best of all time. Yeah. But to now understand exactly being on Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime, not to say that he's lost anything, but I honestly think that when he literally is speaking his feelings. I don't think that he's saying this to be frustrated, but it's just like, damn, I wish I could have watched a better game than just a thumping on Thursday Night Football, considering where I used to be. You know, I legitimately think he's pissed, but at the same time, I don't think he gives a shit for where he's at in his career right now. So say what you will about Al Michaels, but hey, I mean, if you were in his shoes after having his storied career, like, wouldn't you too want to see a better game for someone who's trying to not be biased one side or the other?
Yeah.
Dude has a purple stained chin from them Viking nuts, man.
Good morning. Happy Sunday.
Dude was stroking. He was hot.
Oh.
talking on it all night long, dude. I mean, he was talking about this game ain't over at 3 minutes, and we're up four scores. What are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, for reference, when the Chargers kicked their last field goal, he then was making jokes to say, okay, now we can definitively say it's over. And honestly, I think that was because of what took place on Sunday during the Giants and the Broncos game, where you're just like, okay, that game should have been over about 5 times, and it wasn't.
Oh,
but
man.
I get it. Look, you're in dead air time. You know the game's over. You're just trying to pass the time.
I mean, these guys make a living just excoriating the Chargers for some.
The last thing I thought we were going to talk about in this episode was just flame-throwing Al Michaels right now.
Damn reason. All game long they did it. I mean, these bastards had the nerve to embarrass us by showing that Super Bowl drumming we took. Oh, I was spanking these kids. So disrespectful. Anyway, real reason I called is that last time I checked in.
Oh, now the real reason you called. Okay. We got the Al Michaels taste out of your mouth. Now the real reason you called is what?
I called out Thule, and I said he had to be a closer. I'd like to think maybe he heard that show and lit a fire. He broke, come out smoking the very next game, you know. But I did call him out by his name. So Thule, if you're listening, brother, I apologize. And to make this right, I vow, I will perform your traditional Tongan dance. I think it's a sippy towel, similar to the haka out here. And I'll do it dressed in a hippie Raiderette costume on the boat during halftime in front of the entire world. But I ask you 3 things. You got to teach me the sippy towel, obviously. You got to get me 2 tickets near the field and get a supply that cute little costume. Make sure there's plenty of room in the crotch, please. I'd appreciate that.
Oh, talk about off the rails. Off the tracks.
What the hell has happened? Man.
Jake, thoughts?
I don't have any, Dan. I don't have any. You know, normally Bob from Boston comes up with some pretty amazing visuals that he's able to talk about and his euphemisms that he creates, but that is a new level for Chargers Unleashed. Let me tell you what.
Oh, God. Next voicemail.
Jake and Dan. Shane out here in Texas.
Oh, I can't do
Wait,
it.
I was going to say, you going to replay the damn thing? Hell no.
Ray from San Diego. What's going on, boys? So I made it home before calling you guys this time. And my dogs are anxiously waiting for me to take them for a walk.
Poor dogs.
If you're about to. We're going, boys. Give me a minute.
The dogs can wait. I gotta call into the hotline.
Exactly.
Where the fuck has that team been the last fucking 3 weeks?
What's that mean?
Where has that team been?
I mean, sorry for the F-bombs, but it's there. It's always been there. It's like I feel like we mismatch last 2-3 weeks. Like we're clearly capable of. The talent is there, even with a depleted team. Mostly offense.
Okay, that's a little tough. Background noise, a little rough, but yeah. Where has that team been? That was the vibes. Next one.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger. Those.
One of my favorites of all time.
Where's this going?
Oh, I know exactly where it's going.
Lay my vengeance upon thee.
I don't know if it's Herbo having beers before.
I was like, was that just it? You were just going to record Samuel L. Jackson's monologue from Pulp Fiction and leave that on the voicemail? It's like, is that it? Or is there a person here? Okay, good. There is a person here. Got it.
The game, but whatever he's doing, he needs to keep it up. Kamani, Herbert running like dogs. We got Lad, Aronde, looking good out there. Trey getting in the end zone, beautiful. Hopefully our boy Derwin's good, with a few days off before next game. Hopefully Becton gets healthy and stays healthy. Welcome back, Joe. Big game by the Bolts. Bolt up, baby. Woo!
Vibes are back, baby. Vibes are back.
Vibes are back for at least a week.
We
For
got
at least a week, you know that the vibes are back.
Oh, man. Oh, these things just go on forever. Next voicemail.
Hey, this is Connor. I'm all the way from New Jersey over on the East Coast here.
Enjoy.
Stayed up for this game. I'm 17 years old, and that might have been the most resounding Chargers win I've ever watched.
I mean, there's an argument for sure.
You know, I thought that game was over when Herbert threw that pick and Minnesota scored that touchdown. But then we go down the field and we score. And I must say, I'm a little bit worried for Derwin, but that was a perfect win. You couldn't really script it any better. I didn't have big hopes coming into this game from Indianapolis, but I mean, the way that the Chargers just came down and we won that game, and Herbert looked pretty good apart from that first interception, but it got overturned. I mean, that was a horrible start, but really turn around, finish that. Great game. Glad Alt's back, and hopefully this continues over to next week in Tennessee. Tennessee should be a little bit of a cakewalk, hopefully. But yeah,
Don't say it.
Here we go.
Don't say it.
Man, talk about this team just taking the bull by the horns, just snatching momentum anytime Minnesota had a chance. Right? Like you talk about that first potential pick six. Turns out to be overturned. Chargers go down, score a touchdown. Later on in the game, Chargers give up that touchdown, make it 14-point lead.
They answer right back.
31-10. It's a wrap. Chargers offense was humming the entire time. I mean, the one part that I find kind of fun to think about now is you're starting to see Trey Harris momentum. Like we saw no targets to Quentin Johnston.
Hear about it.
We're barely seeing Trey Harris targeted, but he's in the game so much because of his run blocking. Talked about Ronnie Gadsden. Talked about Ladd. Talked about Keenan. Kamani Vidal's showing up. No mention of KLS right now. Armand Hampton's coming back at some point. Like, that's a lot for Justin. And now we're seeing Justin scramble with his legs. Just saying, F it. I got this. Like, this is a different offense, man. But again, like, the force multiplier is Joe Alt. Jake, anything else top of mind want to touch on this game?
No, I think we actually covered everything, Dan. Honestly, it was a good win all the way around, all three phases of the game. You just hope that this is really kind of the spark to bring you back to take momentum here, especially over these next 4 weeks in this stretch. This is week 8 in the books. You can finally start talking about the Chargers have their bye here in a couple of weeks, and it's pretty well fit in between what their schedule is over these next couple of weeks before you really are going to get on a serious finish to the season. Obviously, against your divisional opponents once again, you're going to have to go up against Dallas, which I know defensively you could say whatever you want, but that offense can move. So you got to try to stack as many as you can with the roster that you can before you get guys back healthy to finish out the season. So it was a much needed victory in many different ways for this team. And it's a good first step in the right direction in terms of getting guys back healthy and potentially going on a nice run here.
Beef Tallow Boy, the young core, Gadsden, Vidal, Trey, Mickens, Still, Hart. O'Day? Oh, wait. I think that's what he meant. Ladd, Alt. You throw in a Boygby in there as well. Yeah. That young core is looking good. And oh, by the way, Justin Herbert at the helm. Like that feels great. Jake, I think this was a good one. Chargers get back on the horse. They ride to victory, 37-10 over the Vikings. Next up, Chargers get a little bit of rest, mini bye, then are playing in Nashville against the Titans. See if they can kind of capture this momentum, lightning in a bottle, so to speak, get to 6-3. We will talk about that game here as we continue on, but until then, enjoy your host of football action this Sunday, Monday, and know that the Chargers have already won their game. Let's hope for some AFC West losses, and we will talk to you next time on the next Chargers Unleashed. Bye, everybody. Enjoy the week.